you know of Valentinian the Second? Flavius Valentinianus, who was proclaimed emperor at only 4 years old, and who died at 21. Many do not, but his life was a whirlwind of power, politics, and peril that can still teach us much today. For I am Valentinian the Second, born in 371 in Treveri, modern Trier, Germany. My early life was a tapestry woven with the threads of destiny, legacy, and looming shadows of conflict. Let me take you back to the beginning. My father, Valentinian I, was a towering figure both literally and figuratively. As emperor, he was known for his military prowess and stern leadership. My mother, Justina, was his second wife and a paragon of Roman nobility and strength. My earliest memories are of my father's strong hands lifting me high, his laughter mingling with the clink of armor and the murmur of strategists. Our family was a close-knit unit, bound by love, duty, and the ever-present specter of imperial politics. I was also close to my uncle Valens. The three of us, my father, uncle, and I, would often dine together when they were home from the front lines. Those evenings are etched in my mind, filled with the aroma of roasted meats, the flicker of torchlight, and the passionate discussions of battles, politics, and strategies that stretched into the wee hours of the morning. Even as a child, I was enthralled by these conversations, sensing the weight of the world that rested on their shoulders and, by extension, mine. Education for a young prince was rigorous. Tutors drilled me in the classics Latin, Greek, rhetoric, and philosophy. My mother ensured I was well-versed in the arts, and I developed a keen interest in history and literature. Yet, it was the lessons in statecraft and military tactics that truly captivated me. I knew from an early age that my path was set. I was to be an emperor, a leader of men, a protector of the realm. But little did I know how soon and how abruptly this responsibility would fall upon me. My childhood was also marked by the uneasy peace that hovered over the empire. The Roman world was vast and diverse, stretching from the windswept shores of Britannia to the sun-drenched deserts of Egypt. But it was also a world fraught with threats, external and internal. Barbarian tribes pressed at the borders, while internal strife and usurpers threatened the stability my father had worked so hard to maintain. As I grew, so did the shadows around our family. In 375, when I was just 4 years old, my father died suddenly. His death was a blow that resonated throughout the empire. But even more shocking was what came next. 5 days later, I was proclaimed emperor at Aquincum, modern Budapest. The weight of the crown fell on my young head without warning, and I was thrust into a role for which no amount of tutelage could truly prepare me. The declaration of my emperorship was made without the knowledge or consent of the reigning emperors Valens and Gratian, but they later accepted it. Through my mother's regency, I was given control of Italy, Africa, and Illyricum. It was an enormous responsibility, and my childhood was cut short as I was plunged into the maelstrom of imperial politics. Looking back, those early years were a blur of learning and adaptation. I had to grow up quickly to be the emperor my people needed me to be, even if I was still a child at heart. My life was no longer my own. It belonged to Rome and its vast territories. The path ahead was fraught with challenges and dangers that I could scarcely comprehend at the time, as you'll soon see. Imagine being a child of only 4 years old and suddenly being declared emperor of the Roman Empire. It sounds like a tale from a fable, doesn't it? Yet that was my reality in 375 AD. The death of my father, Valentinian I, was a monumental shock, and before I could even grasp the enormity of his loss, I was thrust into the role of emperor. The weight of the crown was heavy, not just for its literal gold and jewels, but for the immense responsibilities and expectations it bore. After my father's sudden demise, the imperial court was a whirlwind of activity. Advisors and generals were scrambling, trying to ensure the stability of the empire. The decision to proclaim me emperor at Aquincum, modern Budapest, came as a surprise to many, especially to the reigning emperors Valens and Gratian, who were not consulted beforehand. Nonetheless, they eventually accepted the situation, allowing my mother, Justina, to rule on my behalf as regent. My mother was a formidable woman. Justina was resolute, intelligent, and deeply devoted to her children. She guided me with a firm hand, ensuring that I was prepared for the daunting tasks ahead. Our home in Treveri, modern Trier, Germany, became a hub of political and military strategy sessions. My education, which had already been rigorous, intensified as I was taught the intricacies of governance, diplomacy, and warfare. One of my earliest memories as emperor was a visit from my half-brother, Gratian. A seasoned leader in his own right, Gratian was initially skeptical about a child emperor. However, he quickly realized that our combined forces were essential for maintaining the stability of the empire. Gratian and I formed an uneasy alliance, with him handling the western provinces and me, through my mother, managing Italy, Africa, and Illyricum. As I settled back into my role, I continued to rely heavily on my mother and my advisors. I was still young, and the responsibilities of the empire were daunting. The threat of internal dissent and external invasions was ever present, and I had to be vigilant and wise beyond my years. The journey of my ascension was far from over. The challenges I faced as a young emperor were many, and each decision carried the weight of the empire's fate, as we'll discuss next. By the time I regained my throne in 388 AD, I was no longer the child emperor thrust into power by circumstances beyond my control. The years of tumult, exile, and restoration had forged me into a leader acutely aware of the fragility and complexity of the Roman Empire. My mother, Justina, remained a guiding force, but the responsibilities were now undeniably mine to bear. One of the first major decisions of my reign involved religious policy. The Roman Empire was deeply divided between pagan traditions and the burgeoning power of Christianity. My father had been a Christian, but I also understood the need to maintain religious harmony. In 384, I made a controversial decision in favor of Ambrose, the Bishop of Milan, and against Symmachus, the great pagan orator. The issue was whether to restore the altar of victory to the Roman Senate House. I sided with Ambrose, denying the restoration and thereby strengthening the position of Christianity within the empire. This decision was met with both praise and criticism. For the Christian community, it was a significant victory. For the pagans, it was a bitter reminder of their diminishing influence. It was a delicate balance to maintain, and I knew that every move I made would have lasting implications for the unity of the empire. Military matters were equally pressing. The Roman Empire's borders were constantly under threat from various barbarian tribes. The Goths, Huns, and other groups saw opportunities in our internal divisions and pressed harder against our frontiers. I worked closely with my generals to fortify our defenses and strategize against these incursions. Theodosius I, my ally and protector, was instrumental in providing military support and guidance. In 387, Maximus, the usurper who had killed my brother Gratian, invaded Italy again. My mother and I had to flee to Thessalonica once more. Theodosius came to our aid, and in 388, he decisively defeated Maximus, restoring me to my position. This period of instability highlighted the ever-present danger of usurpers and internal strife. It was a stark reminder that the empire needed strong, centralized leadership to survive. My reign also saw significant administrative reforms. I sought to streamline the bureaucracy, reduce corruption, and improve efficiency. These efforts were aimed at stabilizing the empire's finances and ensuring that resources were directed where they were most needed: defense, infrastructure, and public welfare. However, these reforms were met with resistance from entrenched interests who benefited from the old, corrupt systems. One of the most challenging aspects of my reign was dealing with the powerful general Arbogast. After the defeat of Maximus, Theodosius appointed Arbogast as the Magister Militum, Master of Soldiers, in the West. Arbogast was a skilled and ambitious leader, and his influence quickly grew. He effectively controlled the Western Roman Empire, leaving me as a figurehead. Tensions between us reached a boiling point in 392. Frustrated by his dominance, I sought to dismiss Arbogast from his position. However, he refused to step down, asserting his power and undermining my authority. The political intrigue and power struggles during this period were intense and dangerous. Arbogast's defiance was a clear signal that my reign was under siege from within. Despite these challenges, I remained determined to assert my authority and fulfill my duties as emperor. The internal conflicts and external threats were relentless, but I drew strength from my belief in the legacy of my father and the future of the Roman Empire. Stay with me as I recount the final days of my reign and the tragic end that awaited me. The next part will delve into the events leading to my untimely death and the legacy I left behind. The journey is far from over, and the lessons of my life continue to resonate through history. The year was 392 AD, and the tension in the air was palpable. My relationship with Arbogast had deteriorated beyond repair. He had refused my orders, openly defying my authority and making it clear that he saw himself as the true power behind the throne. As a young emperor, the strain of this power struggle was immense. I felt trapped, a puppet emperor, manipulated by a man who believed he was above imperial authority. I was only 21, but the years of political machinations and endless threats had aged me beyond my years. The shadow of my father's legacy loomed large, and I knew I had to take decisive action to reclaim my power. But Arbogast was a formidable opponent, with the loyalty of the Western legions and the support of many within the military and political elite. The situation reached a climax in May 392. I had decided to act against Arbogast, to assert my rightful control over the empire. I issued a decree to dismiss him, hoping to rally support and regain my authority. But Arbogast, ever defiant, not only refused to step down, but also began consolidating his power even further. The palace in Vienna, modern Vienne, France, became a battleground of intrigue and betrayal. One fateful night as I paced my chambers, the weight of my decisions pressing heavily on me, I felt a sense of impending doom. The palace was filled with whispers of rebellion and plots. My guards were loyal, but I could see the fear in their eyes. They knew, as I did, that Arbogast would not go quietly. The next morning, I was found dead in my chambers. The circumstances of my death remain shrouded in mystery. Some say it was suicide, driven by the unbearable pressure and hopelessness of my situation. Others believe it was murder, orchestrated by Arbogast to remove the last obstacle to his ambition. Regardless of the truth, my death marked a tragic end to a reign fraught with challenges and strife. The news of my death sent shockwaves through the empire. Theodosius in the east mourned my passing and prepared to confront Arbogast, who had now installed a puppet emperor, Eugenius, in my place. The power struggles that defined my reign would continue, leading to further bloodshed and conflict. My death was not just the end of a young emperor's life, it was a turning point for the Roman Empire. The instability and power struggles that plagued my reign highlighted the deep-seated issues within the imperial system. The fragmentation of authority, the rise of powerful military leaders, and the constant threat of usurpation were symptoms of an empire struggling to maintain its cohesion. In the aftermath of my death, Theodosius eventually defeated Arbogast and Eugenius at the Battle of the Frigidus in 394, restoring some measure of stability. But the underlying issues remained, setting the stage for the eventual fall of the Western Roman Empire. As I reflect on my life and reign, I am reminded of the words my brother Gratian once spoke. The throne is not just a seat of power, but a symbol of the hopes and dreams of millions. My time as emperor was brief and tumultuous, but I did my best to uphold those hopes and dreams, even in the face of overwhelming challenges. Next, we'll explore the legacy I left behind and how my life and reign have been remembered through the annals of history. The lessons of my short, tragic journey continue to resonate, offering insights into the complexities of power, leadership, and the human spirit. In the wake of my tragic death, the Roman Empire continued its relentless march through history. My life, though brief and filled with turmoil, left an indelible mark on the empire and its future. Historians and scholars have debated my reign, its challenges, and its impact, but one thing remains clear. The story of Valentinian II is a poignant chapter in the grand saga of Rome. The immediate aftermath of my death saw the consolidation of power by Theodosius I, who emerged as the sole ruler of the United Roman Empire. His defeat of Arbogast and Eugenius at the Battle of the Frigidus in 394 AD was a decisive moment that quelled the rebellion and reasserted imperial authority. However, the deep-seated issues that plagued my reign continued to fester within the empire. My reign is often seen as a microcosm of the larger struggles that beset Rome in its later years. The constant threats from external enemies, the internal power struggles, and the challenges of managing a vast and diverse empire were all hallmarks of the period. In many ways, my life exemplified the difficulties faced by the empire as it attempted to navigate these turbulent waters. One of the enduring legacies of my reign was the continued tension between paganism and Christianity. My decision to support Ambrose over Symmachus in the Altar of Victory controversy was a significant moment in the Christianization of the Roman Empire. This decision, though contentious, reflected the shifting religious landscape and the growing influence of Christianity within the imperial structure. My untimely death at the age of 21 also highlighted the dangers of relying on powerful military leaders who could easily become rivals. The rise and fall of Arbogast underscored the precarious balance of power between the emperor and his generals. This delicate relationship would continue to shape the political dynamics of the empire in the years to come. Despite the challenges and controversies, my reign was not without its accomplishments. The administrative reforms I initiated aimed at reducing corruption and improving efficiency laid the groundwork for future efforts to stabilize the empire's finances and governance. Though my time was short, these reforms were steps toward a more resilient and robust imperial administration. The personal connections I forged during my reign also left a lasting impact. My relationship with Theodosius I in particular was a crucial alliance that helped to maintain the unity of the empire during a period of intense division. Theodosius's support was instrumental in restoring me to power and later in avenging my death, demonstrating the importance of loyalty and strategic partnerships in maintaining imperial stability. As I reflect on my legacy, I am reminded of the lessons learned through my experiences. The weight of the crown is indeed heavy, and the responsibilities of leadership are immense. My life serves as a testament to the complexities of power and the ever-present challenges that come with ruling a vast empire. In the next and final part, I invite you to journey with me through the sights of my life and reign. We will explore the places that shaped my story and delve into the world of ancient coin collecting, a tangible connection to the past that brings history to life. Together, we will uncover the enduring Renaissance spirit and the timeless pursuit of knowledge, truth, and understanding. As you stand at the precipice of history, as we all do, in our own time and in our own way, let us take a moment to explore how to bring history alive. Literature, nonfiction, and other media is a great way to immerse yourself in history, as is understanding the lives of those who lived it. To that end, keep abreast of the news and ponder the historical connection of current and global affairs. Another great way to connect to history is by owning something tangible, be it a work of art, historical document, or ancient coinage. For those with a passion for ancient history, coin collecting offers a tangible connection to the past. From my vantage point as emperor, I see the ancient gold solidus bearing my likeness as more than just currency. It is a testament to the grandeur and authority of my reign from 375 to 392 AD. Each solidus, with its depiction of my youthful visage and symbols of Rome's might, embodies the essence of an era marked by political intrigue and cultural evolution. Collecting such coins offers profound historical, cultural, and financial benefits. They are not merely relics, but tangible connections to the past, providing insights into the economy, politics, and artistry of my time. Culturally, these coins are miniature masterpieces, reflecting the aesthetic sensibilities, religious beliefs, and societal values of the late Roman Empire. Financially well-preserved coins like the solidus can be significant investments, increasing in value as their rarity and historical importance are recognized. When you delve into the world of ancient coin collecting, turning to NGC Ancients can be invaluable. This reputable service provides authentication, grading, and encapsulation, ensuring that each coin's authenticity and condition are preserved. Collectors should seek coins with clear inscriptions and well-defined imagery, as these features greatly enhance a coin's value. Provenance, or the documented history of a coin's ownership, can further increase its desirability. It is crucial to be vigilant against counterfeit coins and to buy from reputable dealers or auction houses. Furthermore, the American Numismatic Association, ANA, offers substantial benefits for coin collectors. As a member, you gain access to a wealth of resources, including educational programs, detailed numismatic research, and exclusive publications. The ANA fosters a community of collectors, providing opportunities to connect with experts and enthusiasts alike. Membership benefits include discounts on coin grading services, access to coin shows and conventions, and a comprehensive library of numismatic literature. These resources are invaluable for collectors seeking to deepen their understanding of ancient coins and enhance their collections. Through the ANA, collectors not only safeguard their investments, but also contribute to the preservation and appreciation of numismatic history. Of course, travel is the gateway to other times and to other worlds. In that vein, let me guide you through the key sites of my life and reign, if you wish to travel in my footsteps. From Treveri, where I was born, to Vienna, where my life tragically ended, these places are more than just locations. They are the living remnants of a story that continues to resonate through the ages. Begin your journey in Treveri, modern-day Trier, Germany. As my birthplace, Treveri was a significant city in the Roman Empire. Here you can visit the Porta Nigra, an ancient Roman city gate that has stood the test of time, offering a glimpse into the grandeur of Roman architecture and the bustling life of a Roman city. Next, travel to Aquincum, modern Budapest, where I was proclaimed emperor at the tender age of 4. The ruins of Aquincum provide a fascinating look at Roman military and civilian life, with well-preserved artifacts and remnants of public buildings, baths, and homes. Your journey would not be complete without a visit to Milan, where the pivotal decision regarding the altar of victory was made. Milan's Basilica of Sant'Ambrogio stands as a testament to the influence of Bishop Ambrose, whose guidance shaped my religious policies. Walking through the basilica, you can almost hear the echoes of the debates and decisions that impacted the religious landscape of the empire. From Milan, head to Thessalonica, modern Thessaloniki, Greece, where my mother and I sought refuge during the tumultuous times of Magnus Maximus's invasion. The Rotunda and Arch of Galerius in Thessalonica are stunning examples of Roman imperial architecture and offer a sense of the grandeur that surrounded my temporary court. Finally, visit Vienna, modern Vienne, France, the site of my untimely death. Here, you can explore the remains of the ancient Roman city and reflect on the political intrigues that led to my demise. The Roman Temple of Augustus and Livia in Vienne is a poignant reminder of the empire's vast reach and the historical significance of this city. As we conclude this journey, I would like to thank you for joining me. Our channel, known as the Renaissance Spirit, is dedicated to the pursuits of a just, equitable, and humanitarian world. Video topics encompass areas including history, politics, religion, personal development, society, culture, social and environmental justice, and other topics of liberal arts and sciences, including ancient Rome and the Roman Empire, which offers a great comparison and contrast to the modern world. These topics are perfect for the true modern polymath. The Renaissance ushered in a golden age in the pursuit of knowledge both lost to time and yet to be discovered. It gave birth to the Enlightenment and the Age of Reason. Embracing truth, knowledge, and an understanding and compassion for humanity and our shared history opens up the world to each of us individually and improves all of humanity, affording us the opportunity to be better stewards of the earth and to each other. The Renaissance spirit is more than just a philosophy or style, it's a way of living, learning, growing, and thinking. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and share. If you're looking to explore and experience what life has to offer, I'm sure you'll enjoy the other videos on my channel. Please peruse and let me know in the comments what you get out of them and what other videos you'd like to see. But first, take the quiz to see if you're a Renaissance spirit. Live the Renaissance spirit. And now our music video, Valentinian II, What No Man Can See. Enjoy!
Young and untested, in the shadow of power, with the weight of the empire upon his shoulder, martial lessons in palesio, natum Romanorum nobile, sapum amanorum patrum, in hoc seculo destinatus. Gloria fortuna filius, in tetus et animosus, vitae cursus sine fine, iterum et iterum futuri spes. Futurum nemo videre potes, sed viam in tenebris invenimus. No man can see the future, but we find our way in the dark. Hope in shadows, dreams in light, guided by the stars at night. Spessing and Bruce, somnia in luce, astra nocte nos ducunst. Ancitus et justitia, legibus Romae serviens. Ad imperi salutem coram oculis tuorum. Justice and honor, with Rome's laws to guide to the empire, salvation in the God's watchful eyes. Gloria fortuna filius, in tetus et animosus, vitae cursus sine fine, iterum et iterum futuri spes. Futurum nemo videre potes, sed viam in tenebris invenimus. No man can see the future, but we find our way in the dark. Hope in shadows, dreams in light, guided by the stars at night. Futurum nemo videre potes, sed viam in tenebris invenimus. No man can see the future, but we find our way in the dark. Hope in shadows, dreams and light, guided by the stars at night. Spessing and Bruce, somnia in luce, Astra nocte nos ducunst, in pace et bello vitam suam posuit, imperium servavit fidei et virtute. In peace and in war, he gave his life, preserving the empire with faith and with might. Futurum nemo videre potes, sed viam aeterna bis in venimus. No one can see the future, but we find our way in the dark. Hope in shadows, dreams in light, guided by the stars at night. Emperor Valentinianus, in eternum vivet, in memoria Romae undi. Emperor Valentinian, forever he will live in memory of Rome and the world. Nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Regem Romae Gratianus nomen, virtutem et potentiam ducit, in aeternum laudemus eum, gubernans terras cum sapientia. Born of Rome in the empire's heart, Gratian rises, guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Born of Rome in the empire's heart, Gratian rises, guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Imitibus dux, miles fortis victrix virtus hostes superat, pax et prosperitas in imperium. Sub Gratiano omnia florent. Soldiers, leader, courage bold, victory's banner foes behold. Peace and prosperity he does bring, under Gratiano flourish and sing. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Temporam mutantur, sed laus tua manet, in aeternum Gratiane regnas. Times may change, but your praise endures. Forever, Gratian, your reign ensures. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te, Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Regem Romae, Gratianus nomen, virtutem et potentiam ducit, in aeternum laudemus eum, gubernans terras cum sapientia. Born of Rome, in the empire's heart, Gratian rises, guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Fortis victrix virtus hostes superat, pax et prosperitas in imperium. Sub Gratiano omnia floret, born of Rome in the empire's heart. Gratian rises guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Regem Romae Gratianus nomen virtutem et potentiam docet, in aeternum laudemus eum governans terras cum sapientia. Of Rome in the empire's heart, Gratian rises guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Born of Rome in the empire's heart, Gratian rises guided by noble art, leading with valor and wisdom's light. He shapes our world with justice bright. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine. Gratianus Princeps Magnus, in nomine Justitia lodemus te. Gratian Emperor divine, in your name we forever shine.